This is a 2012 BMW F10 M5, a luxury four-door sedan that makes absolutely zero sense in the best possible way. Because somehow BMW's way of making a supercar is taking their freaking luxury sedan and fitting a twin-turbo V8 in it and making it faster than most supercars on the road. This car comes with the S63 engine, which is a twin-turbo V8 that makes 560 horsepower and 680 Newton meters of torque. From factory, it does 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.3 seconds, and it has a top speed limit of 250 kilometers per hour, which is embarrassing because this thing can do 80 more than that if you just remove the limiter. This was the first M5 that ever got a turbocharged setup, and it replaced the naturally aspirated V10 that was in the E60 M5. Everyone loves the E60 M5. And other than the fact that the E60 M5 came with a naturally aspirated V10, it was a 5-liter, it revved up to like 9,000 RPM and it sounded like an F1 car. It also had its problems. I mean, the car didn't have a lot of potential for tuning. The car was NA. The car had rod bearing issues. It wasn't very efficient. It had a shitty SMG transmission. I mean, it feels good to shift it at like high RPMs. But the car isn't really dailyable. I understand a lot of you might say M cars aren't meant to be dailyable, but you know, companies do need to make sales. And the way to make sales for these companies is to make the cars more family friendly. So this car has a hot V twin turbo setups, which means the turbos are right here between the two banks, which means because it has a shorter exhaust routing, you get a faster spool, you get much better throttle response, and you get a ton of torque at a very low RPM, which means the car is actually a lot of fun to drive at low RPMs. You don't have to rev the shit out of it every time you get off from a traffic light. Other than the fact that this is an absolutely insane engine to be fitted into a luxury sedan, they decided to go ahead and fit a 7-speed DCT gearbox onto this, which is a much better gearbox than the SMG. Honestly, like you can't argue with me on this. I think everyone agrees that the SMG has nothing to say against the DCT. This thing shifts super aggressive in the best possible way. It has settings which you can make it shift slower or faster. It feels like you're driving a manual with one pedal because you would have to make the clutch engage and disengage. If you're on an uphill and you let go of the throttle at a standstill, you're just gonna roll back like a manual. Basically, what a DCT does, it has two clutches. It will engage the next gear before you actually shift to the next gear, which means that the shifts are just bang, bang. But it doesn't mean that this car doesn't have its issues. It is a BMW, which means everything, I mean everything, other than the block of this engine is made out of plastic. All of these intake hoses, all of the coolant lines, every fucking thing in this car is made out of plastic, which means that this thing is a nightmare to maintain. Other than that, this thing, like any other M car from this era, has rod bearing issues. This car just had its rod bearings done. This car just had all of the hoses replaced. This car, just like any other BMW from this era, has a PWG turbo, which was the first gen that they did, which means the turbo is controlled by a vacuum, which means the wastegate isn't gonna last that long. I'm telling you, just don't ask me why. I know. At the same time, they have problems like boost leaks, and the oil pumps tend to go out. If the oil pump goes out, you basically have to say goodbye to your turbo first and the engine next. All of this means that this thing is like a fucking Russian model that is moody all the fucking time, is expensive to maintain. The is great, but she has to have had her meds on time for days, and the meds are very, very, very costly. She's in a good mood, you'll have the best time of your life. She's not, I mean, you're the one who's fucked. So that is something to consider with one of these cars. By the way, since we've only said good things about the transmission in this thing, let me tell you something. The flywheel and clutch on this thing tend to wear out in time and mileage, and they are very, very expensive. They're not like normal flywheels. They're expensive. In terms of design, this is one of the most beautiful and timeless BMWs in my opinion, and I am quite biased about this because the first car I've ever had in my life was an F10. But this thing has wider arches than the normal 5 Series. It has wider wheels because it's an M car and you need to handle with the M car. BMW M makes some of the best OEM wheels for their cars, and something special about this specific car is that it has original matte blue paint from BMW. Because this is a special edition BMW, this car is an individual spec. It has a frozen blue metallic paint from BMW. This is a 1 of 30 BMW M Performance Edition cars. This is super fucking rare, and the best part about original individual matte paint from BMW is if you scratch it, you can't polish it out. And it's a 6-month special order to even get the paint. So let's not scratch this car. So with that being said, let's go ahead and sit in the driver's seat, see what it feels like to be inside this car, and take it for a drive. So this M5 feels a little slow, to be honest with you. So we want to strap it down to the dyno and a custom like stage 2 file, maybe a stage 1 file. I don't know, we'll see. But it is a little slow. It needs a little bit of juice. So that's what we are going to do right now. Hello. It's an old car, you know. Okay. Yeah, there's no, the alarms are going to go off. Are you sure this is the right key? I don't think it was blue. Yeah.
That's a 330i key.
It does open. Normally in these situations I would say my bad, but it wasn't my bad this time. Usually at this point in the video, I do a driving experience with these cars. If you guys have watched any of my past reviews, this is the time for the driving experience. But what fun is a driving experience if the car is stuck, right? So instead, this time, I decided to mix it up, tune the car first, because I mean, no matter how fast the car is, it is always gonna be slow stock, because there's always a faster version. This is like a good life lesson too. No matter how good you think you are, you can always get better. So we are gonna go ahead and tune this car, and we will be back with the driving experience. All right, so the first thing that we are gonna need to do is to put this car on a dyno for 2 reasons. Number 1, we need to see how much power it makes stock, and we need to data log the car to see how the engine is running stock. So in order to do that, we need one of these fancy tools that we've already connected to a laptop over here. We are gonna unlock our dyno, the car in gear, and start rolling. We need to calibrate the dyno at 3000 RPM, which I already did. 5th gear, around 1500 RPM. Oh, that just sounds fucking beautiful! Yeah, it seems fine. All right, so we have all our data. Can use this data to build a custom file for the car. We now know how the engine is running. What is our ignition? What is our boost level? Is the engine healthy? Does it have a boost leak? Is our wastegate in okay shape? Which is not. And basically everything that we need to know is right here. And the car is making 505 wheel horsepower, which is a little bit on the lower side. So now we're gonna build out the tune file on the car. We're gonna flash it on the car and see what type of gains we can make with this car. We are gonna go ahead and flash the tune file on the car, but before that we need to connect the battery tender because we don't want the battery to die mid-flash. That is one of the worst things that can happen to you when you're doing any type of coating or tuning to a car. It's just a bad time for everyone. So the best thing to do is to give it a little bit of charge, just a little bit, small. All right, now that we've already flash the tune file on the car, I'm gonna do another run. We are gonna make sure that the car is in perfect shape. This car has a problem. This wastegate is a little loose, which means that we cannot go crazy with the boost, first of all, on the tune file. We are not gonna get crazy gains because we are not going crazy with the boost. But overall, we are still gonna see some gains and we are gonna, some more power. Let's go ahead and get ready to data log this car. The ignition on, and we need to put the car in dyno mode. DSC off, DCT gearbox. Now all we need to do is to do a run and see how much power are we gonna get. Our IATs are 41 degrees. Everything looks good over here. We're gonna hit record. So a little below 2000 RPM, press screen, full throttle. 124 wheel horsepower. It's beautiful. The power is a little low, but the turbos on this car aren't exactly in the healthiest condition. So we are gonna keep it safe. It's called custom tuning, There's a beautiful, lovely chart. There are some things that we are looking for in this chart. Is it smooth? Does it have any spikes? Does it have any dips in the power? This thing is beautiful. For the condition of this car, this is extremely safe. As you can see, the air fuel is perfect. Everything about this chart is beautiful. There are no dips in power. If we look at the data log, we can see it over here that the wastegate just cannot hold pressure. But the turbo, we are pushing around 1.4 bars of boost. We are running lambda 0.81, which is perfect air fuel ratio at redline. We want to spray a little bit more fuel to cool down the cylinders. That's pretty much it. This thing is perfect. So let's go ahead and take it out for a drive and get the real driving experience of an M car. And it's tuned. Driving this car is an absolute experience. You realize that this is not a normal car. This is not a normal 5 Series, and it is not a normal car. This is insane. The DCT, the way that it shifts, it's just so crispy and so out of character for this chassis. The moment you put your foot down, you know that there is no traction and you're gonna get up to the speed limit in no time. This thing is the pinnacle of BMW engineering. These guys in 2012, they did not make the most reliable engine, but they sure made sure that this thing performs. 527 wheel horsepower to the rear wheels and 760 Newton meters of torque. There is no tire that is not gonna spin every time that you launch this car. This is beautiful. This is amazing. In terms of handling, this thing's steering wheel is still quite heavy. It doesn't have as much feel as the older generation, but it still has quite a lot of feel into it. And the chassis is super stiff, but at the same time it has a level of comfort that surprises you when you drive it. This is the type of car that requires a little bit of skill when you're driving because it has so much power. It has a DCT gearbox and it is rear-wheel drive. If you were ever looking for a modern car that is still very exciting to drive, it is still very engaging to drive, but you have to know that even though these cars are going for a steal right now, they are quite unreliable and you have to spend quite a lot of money for upkeep and for fuel. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you liked it even more, you can hit the subscribe button. And if you didn't, just go watch another video. You might like that. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.